Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Am I okay now? Yeah. So
yeah.
Padma Priya, hi Padma Priya.
No, Padma Priya is from the NPTEL.
Okay.
So we have Satyam and Bridge, who are the participants. All right. Shiva? Shiva, you're muted.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, hi. Bridge, Satyam, are you able to hear us?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Pretty clearly.
So Satyam, is there any question you have?
No, sir, not such any specific question.
Okay,
Sir,
so
I wanted to ask one thing, that you were telling me many techniques last time, like alternative design, pattern breaking, and intersection.
okay.
Sir, from where do you get to know these things? Means, any book?
I learned all that. No? I went to some training and all that.
Okay. Sir, any other are available? If I want to explore more,
in the limited time we have, we'll talk about that. Yeah, Mini, you have something to say, because I can do
No, nothing. So I started with asking them if they had any questions that they wanted to clarify. So that's when you joined in, Shiva. So
yeah, so I'm just thinking what I should, because I was not prepared. Let me see if I can drum up something from my notes.
Ma'am, meanwhile, Dr. Shiva searched the interesting things, whatever he had to share. Why don't you share some of your case studies or your company or some whatever thing you have done so far, or any one thread from that real life product, something.
sorry, what's the question? I couldn't catch it.
Meanwhile, Dr. Shiva searched things, whatever he has to share. Maybe since you have some of the startups happened, under your leadership, and some of maybe one of the two cases, real cases, you might share.
Right. So the thing here, Bridge, is that we encourage all our participants of the course to actually apply this and start, coming up with a solution to any problem that they see. And if they already have a problem, well and good. Otherwise, we ask them to use the UNSDG framework to do that. And I think you've already, I'm not sure if you heard about the sanitary napkin example. Did you?
I think last time you shared, yes.
Yes. Okay. So then we also have, another student who came up with an idea, and in fact we have asked her to present it in one of the in one week as well. So she will be presenting that that case study. In terms of, it's a pretty intensive case study, because she goes through in great detail as to what is the problem that she set out to solve, etc. So I don't want to spoil the suspense for you, but I'm just going to give you a very quick view of what she did. So the student, what she did is, just 1 second, just getting that. So the student, what she did is she looked at goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. And for her, the entire thing was, how do we look at efficient use of resources, etc. And the problem that she hit upon was a solution for packaging, so as to reduce plastic and also not have this plastic waste that is generated by trillions of tons of plastic waste that is generated. And she looked at that problem, and she really looked at a host of organisms in order to come up with a solution. And you'll see the case study. I'm not getting into the details of which organisms she looked at, etc., because she explains it very well in her case study that you will see in week 7, I think. Week 7 is when she will explain it to you. And she's come up with this. Very eco-friendly material that can be used in lieu of plastic. And she's also what she's also done is she's also looked at some of the manufacturing techniques that can be used in order to accomplish that. Because for example, additive manufacturing, etc. How can you use that in order to create a material which is eco-friendly for packaging? And she's also taken that a bit further, even though that was not part of her original idea, to see if you can look at biodegradable cutlery and plates, etc., which is typically used for events in our country, right? So can we use that as well, is what she has done. So this is something, and she's really looking forward to taking this forward in terms of actually creating a prototype and testing it, etc., etc. So that's another interesting one that you will be encountering in the next week, I guess. So like this, we have several. Many of them are of course, in early stages, and we are hoping that they will be able to take this forward, successfully test it, and actually take it forward. That's what I would. That's what we are hoping. And additionally,
nice.
you may have also seen. The Ask Nature website, right? In the Ask Nature website, you'll find a host of startups and companies that have actually created innovations based on biomimetic learning. And I'm not sure, have you looked at it?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. We looked at it. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So we've also done some case study. We did Spintex, and one of the things in the assignments, you'll see that also introduced one called e-concrete. So we've also shown that. Plus, there are a host. So it's up to you that you can actually take a look at it and be inspired, or even learn from whatever it is that they are going to do. So yeah.
Very nice. Yes, very nice.
Now I wanted to ask one thing.
Yes,
Satya. In the Discover phase, can you tell more about the Discover phase? Apart from using the Ask Nature website and 2-3 other resources which you mentioned, suppose we are not getting the relevant organism on the Ask Nature, then what should be our approach through the Google website, means through the search engines, to get the organisms? Is there any specific process which we can follow to get other organisms apart from using the Ask Nature?
Right.
And if we don't want to restrict ourselves to the Ask Nature.
So if you're asking about how to do Discover without depending just on Ask Nature, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So I think you said how to do Discover without just depending on Ask Nature, correct?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Yeah. So now, well, in that case, Satyam, I can give you some suggestions. I cannot say that you will surely get it from these places, but let me. You may have seen this in the class video session. I would have introduced a couple of things, right? There are some resources available online for you to actually speak to experts in terms of biologists, etc. You can actually ask them the question. I'm sure you've seen that, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I've seen, but that service is nowadays closed.
And the other thing is, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Satyam.
Ma'am, I went to that website. It was showing that this service has been now temporarily been closed. Which you told us, asking to the professors, biologists.
Right. But no problem with that, Satyam. What I suggest is, we have told you that you can look at other resources as well. So for example, what about looking at your own library? I'm not sure what kind of library resources you have. So if you have a college library, you're a student in a college, right? Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
I think he's gone off the thing.
Ma'am, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but Satyam is not responding, so I don't know what.
I think your voice broke. So let me see. Satyam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear.
Yeah. So Satyam, you are a student in a college, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Medical student.
So if you have a library, the library may be subscribed to certain journals, etc. Not just physical journals, also online resources like you have these databases, etc. Right?
Meaning again, your voice.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. We can get on internet.
Meaning your voice. is
Yeah.
breaking.
So I think the point here is you will have to use a combination of, see, there is no resource like Ask Nature that neatly, catalogs everything and says this is what it is for this function and this is what it is for that function. So if you want something like that, unfortunately, there's nothing available readily. So you will have to try through internet resources. You will have to try through your library. Suppose you locate something and you need a subscription to that, you will have to request your library to get it, or you will have to speak to some sort of experts that you locate and find out if they are able to help you. So there's no ready-made resource like Ask Nature available, unfortunately. So you will have to do your own research a bit and try and look for organisms. So that's what it is. Because Ask Nature, which is why we encourage people to get started with Ask Nature, because it's slightly simpler since it is cataloged with all the functions and you're able to correlate with the function that has been given. So you will have to do your own research there and try and get in touch with people who are experts, who know what it is, who are familiar with, having worked with certain organisms, etc. So you will have to do your own research there if you're not able to find something on Ask Nature. The other suggestion I can give you is you could write to the Ask Nature folks as well, because they are always looking to curate more and more. You must have seen the message on Ask Nature as well, say Nature folks, and they may also be able to help you with some contacts in order to do that. But if you have to do that, remember that you will have to have a fair idea of where you want to head. So at least you should be able to define your function clearly and be able to talk to them saying, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Because otherwise they'll also be quite, clueless as to what to do with your question.
Okay.
Yeah, but Satyam,
Yes, sir.
my thing is, why do you have to go to so much trouble here when you have Ask Nature? So anyway, Mrinalini has answered it with a lot of details. I was just wondering, why do you even have that question of touching your nose the other way when there is something called Ask Nature right in front of your eyes? So right in the beginning, try and make life easy for you. Don't try to make life difficult for you. So if you're not satisfied with what you have in Ask Nature, then you can start trying other stuff. Right, Mini?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I just turned off my video for a bit because I think I'm having a lot of trouble in you're not able to hear me, right? Because I saw a message from Satyam as well, saying that my voice. Questions, anything else?
All right. So shall I? Is there something, Mini? Is there something else you want to say? Because
no, nothing. I'm just waiting for them to ask any questions that they have, because that's the intent of these sessions.
Yeah. Anything else? If you have nothing, then I'll probably go to some creativity stuff.
Please, sir.
Okay. All right. So I have a presentation here, but I don't want to do this because can you? So I don't want to do this because this is going to happen in week 8. So one of the things that I thought I will talk to you about is something called intersections. I think I already spoken about it sometime else, right?
So it's coming in this week 7 for them.
Right, it's coming in week 7. So I'm just wondering if there's any, because I don't want to, pre do something when we are already having it all. So in week 7, you will find almost everything. Everything that I just showed you. You'll have tools. You'll have week 7, not week 7 and week 8, both week 7 and week 8. So Bridge, what you can do now is try and ask me some questions around creative thinking, which I can answer without a presentation, because it's not fair for me to show a presentation that I'm already showing in the class, right? So why don't you ask?
Sir, I wanted to ask something.
No, 1 minute, Satyam.
Okay.
Can we give Bridge the chance first, please?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, I missed sir. Once again, repeat, sir. I couldn't catch the thoroughly, sir.
So what I'm saying is most of the things that I wanted to say, I've already said it in 7 and 8, week 7 and 8.
Fine, sir.
So it won't be fair on my part to repeat it in a live session.
Fine, sir. Okay.
On the other hand, I would love to answer any questions that you may have around creative thinking, because I think there's a direct link between creativity and biomimicry. And biomimicry is looked on as one part of creativity, right? So if you can ask me some questions around creative thinking, then we can start discussing that. Is there any specific question with the tool that you learned last time? For instance, breaking the pattern. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what are you doing in creativity? In the sense, how are you using creativity in your work right now in the biomimicry problem solving process?
Like one of thing is kind of thinking like you share some idea about this camera and the fluidity.
Yeah.
Those lines, but I still I realize that it is not so easy. This sounds. It will really go kind of deep dive into the think detail, maybe more time and all those things required. Then only things happens. I think so.
Yeah, but the point is not about easy or see. The point is it's a tool for generating more ideas. That's all. I'm only hoping that you're not getting caught in the idea generation only, Bridge. Do you agree that there is a process for creative thinking? Do you agree with that?
Sometimes I personally feel that it is like process is there to maybe invoke thoughts and ideas, but
No.
maybe it's more of a genius of a person, or maybe the amount of time somebody has put inside and thought detailed into it. Otherwise, if they do, I personally sometimes feel that there's no process. There could not be a process, because if the process is there, then anybody can become Google or 3M companies.
No. That's not my question. Okay, let's talk about this for 10 minutes. Okay. Now I'm working on a problem with a professor at IIT Madras. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm working on the problem statement is zero waste of perishables. That's the problem statement given to me. So let's assume it is you and me and this professor and Mrinalini and Satyam, all of us are working together. The problem statement is zero waste of perishables, and we have to find a solution for it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What should we do? What we want a solution for zero waste of perishables. What should we do? We should. What should we do?
first maybe we should see into the nature, what could be other strategies already available in nature.
No. Forget biomimicry for a minute. We're talking about creative thinking. Right? I'm trying to impress upon you the process, the requirement for a process for creativity. Bridge, you got what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
For a minute, put biomimicry aside. And let's come to the subject of creativity. In the subject of creativity, I'm trying to impress upon you, I want to use this session to help you understand that creativity is a deliberate process methodology. That you cannot solve a problem without going through a process. Biomimicry has already taught you that. In biomimicry, you have the spiral which takes you through a process. Correct? Now, what do you learn from that process? What do you learn from that biomimicry process? What did you learn? Don't tell me what the process is, but tell me what life principle the process of biomimicry has brought into you. What will you never again do after having the process of biomimicry? What will you never again do? You will never again solve a problem without going through a formal process.
Yes.
So that is the power of that spiral. The power of the spiral is not in saying discover and emulate. That is okay. That is fine. I mean, I can add one more to it next year, or I can remove one thing. But the power of the spiral is in saying that in order to go from a problem to a solution, I cannot go to a problem to solution unless I follow a disciplined process. So we're learning two things now. We're learning discipline and we're learning process. 2 words for creativity. And we're also saying that we cannot directly jump to idea. You cannot go from problem definition directly to discover. You cannot, because by going to discover, you're simply going directly to ideas. We're saying, no, you cannot do that. There is something in between. Now, if you apply the same thing, suppose you're not a student of biomimicry. You have never learned biomimicry before, but you still want to solve a problem without having to bring nature into it. What will you do? I'm giving you a problem to solve. So what is the first thing you will tell me, Shiva? What is the first thing that you will tell me? Shiva, there must be a dash to solve this problem. What will you tell me?
First, I will go in more deeper into real problems.
Bridge. Just answer my question. Yeah. We both of us are struggling with the problem, saying zero waste of perishables. You have learned in biomimicry that there is something called a spiral, which is a process for problem solving. Right? But you don't know biomimicry. You have forgotten biomimicry. You only understand that there is a process. So suppose before we set out to solve the problem, what will you say? Shiva, what could be the dash for solving this problem? What could be what will you say? Let us find out what is the dash for solving this problem. What will you say?
Maybe alternates.
No. Spiral, yaar. Satyam, you're wrong. Spiral. What is the spiral? It's a what? It's a PROC?
Process.
Process. So similarly, if you want to solve a problem, ordinary problem, even problem like cooking something, you need a what? So solve the problem. You need a what? Yeah, you just said it.
A problem first to detail
problem. I have given you already. You need a
process, right? Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. See, I spent almost 10 minutes getting that word out of you. But this is going to be the most 10 important minutes of your life as far as creativity is concerned, because you will start to learn that creativity cannot happen, that solutions cannot happen without a process.
Yes.
Even cooking, for instance, you go to your mother and say, Amma, give me, I'm feeling hungry. Your mother has now got a problem from you. She's now got a problem saying, what do I cook for Bridge? What does she do? She goes through the process of thinking. What is the next thing that she does? She looks in the almirah. She looks in the shelf. She looks in the. She opens the refrigerator. What is she looking for?
Ingredients. What
No,
can be cooked?
what is ingredient? She's looking for information on what she has.
Mhm.
She says, do I have maida? Yes. Do I have potatoes? Yes. Do I have onion? Yes. Do I have masala? Yes. Do I have salt? Yes. Do I have lime? No. Okay. So now these ingredients, what does it do to her? It tells her what she can do. She can say, can I make puris? Can I make masala? Right? So what is she doing? She's redefining the problem. I want to make food for Bridge. This is the information I have. I want to now redefine the problem. Say, how do I make puri and masala for him? She has redefined the problem. She's already done 3 steps without even knowing it.
Mhm.
Now her problem is, how do I make puri and masala, right? Then what does she do? She looks for information or ideas. I'll put more. She looks for information about you. What is it that you like? Sweet stuff, hot stuff, masala stuff. You like oily stuff, right? And from that, she gets the idea of what puri to make, what sort of masala to make. Correct?
Yes.
And she has a choice. She can make masala, she can make kurma, she can make so many things. Are you feeling hungry now? Okay. So she can make so many things. And then she chooses one of it. She says, okay, I will not make masala, I'll make kurma. So what has she done? She has chosen it. And then what does she do? She tries to cook it and then she tastes it. She says to find out if it's okay or not. There's not enough salt. She adds more salt to it. And then she implements it by giving it to you and saying, please eat it. She's gone through 6 steps. She had a problem to solve. She looked for information. She redefined the problem. She looked for ideas. She chose a particular idea. She shaped the idea and she implemented the idea by giving you puri. Correct?
Yes.
So that's what we learn. We learn that creativity from problem definition to problem solution is a process. And we have to go through this process. And very fortunately for us, the biomimicry spiral is a gift, because it's so easy now to follow that process. And by definition, a process is iterative. Because sometimes your mother will go back to the problem and say, instead of puri, can I make something else? What is she doing? She's going back to the problem. And she also looks for alternatives. Suppose she has no limbu, then she can put some imli. Imli being an alternative to limbu, what we learned last time. So what we are learning is that creativity is Ayush said something. Creativity is without process, you cannot. So even the fan that you're making now, fortunately for you, Mrinalini has explained the spiral to you in the biomimicry class. So now that you don't have a problem, you go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. And it's also a deliberate, creativity is also a deliberate process. Deliberate means purposeful. You want to arrive at a solution, right? And that's why it is.
Fine, sir.
Did
Great.
it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what did I tell you? Just repeat what I said. Not repeat. Just tell me, give me a sense of what you understood.
So basically, first is that to seek information about the whole thing, what is required, and assimilate all the information and ideas, and then that's how and obviously with following the process, we have to create things.
Yeah. And what we are really learning is that creativity is a process, is a step-by-step process to get to the problem.
Right,
Correct?
sir. Right, sir.
There was one more thing I wanted to. What about systems thinking? Did you have you come to the portion about the big picture? Bridge?
No, sir. Right now, no. But I have a little bit idea about systems thinking.
Okay.
like kind of seeing things in a total holistic way.
Yeah.
And one of the example which I came to know is that when the Apollo, they wanted to go to moon, so rather than they had thought about how they will kind of maneuver, or how they will rendezvous the whole process. So very thinking very big way, and then coming to detail inside. That's how the system thinking
Yeah,
is
but
crux of
you
it.
would have already come across system thinking in the biomimicry class, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I saw that one of the videos. Yes, sir. Yes, yes,
Yes.
sir.
So that's one more very powerful tool for thinking, Bridge.
Yes, sir.
Very, very powerful. And there are some 14 habits. There is, I have said all this in the video too. Why I'm telling this is because re-emphasizing is because it's so powerful. All those people, apart from all of you, anyone who is listening to this, biomimicry is very closely linked to systems thinking. And systems, you can become what is called a systems thinker by going to watercenter.org. We have taken 2 habits for you. One is big picture, and the other is consequences. But there are 12 other habits that you can learn. And one of the habits that you must look at today itself is called mental models. MENTAL, mental models. Mental models is by definition, mental models is how you look at the world versus how Mrinalini looks at the world versus how Satyam looks at the world versus how Ayush looks at the world, right? Each of us looks at the world in different ways, and which is why we have conflicts. But once you understand that every one of us looks at the world, for instance, take COVID, for instance, right? Now, one of us in this room may look at COVID and say it's not even anything dangerous at all, and go around without a mask and things like that, because that person is looking at the world saying COVID is not dangerous. Somebody else may have had a horrible experience with COVID. Somebody may have lost their lives because of COVID, and I will therefore be very, very careful. I'll have double mask and things like that before going out. Already there are 2 mental models emerging. One mental model saying COVID is not dangerous. The other mental model saying COVID is very dangerous. So once you start understanding, and all of us have mental models for everything in life, from food to the way we want to behave, to the way we dress, to the way we think about others, mental models rule our life. Why mental models are important is not because you understand that my mental model is different from your mental model, even though that's an interesting thing. Why mental models is important? Because once we understand someone else's mental model, it gives us an opportunity to change our own mental model. And I suggest that, today being the weekend, you can go to, you want me to type the website here?
I just put it in here, Shiva.
Yeah. Watercenter.
Yeah. It's watercenterst.org.
Yeah. So I think along with biomimicry, if you people become good at systems thinking, you're going to have a lot of fun in life. You're going to be in demand. You're going to be in demand from people, because you're going to be a person who thinks before he does anything at all. Meaning you type the website.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just typing it. I'm getting it from there so that, I don't make mistake in the...
There's one more habit called understanding delay. The importance of delay in something, right? We want everything instant. One of the system thinking habits is saying how important delay is. For instance, Satyam as a doctor will know the importance of delay. I'm sure the patient who comes to him will say, "Doctor, I want this whole thing to be, this injury to be cured immediately." But Satyam will say, "No, it will take some time for it to get cured." What Satyam is saying, that delay is important for that injury to get cured. Similarly, in your children will come and say, "I want this immediately," but you will say, "No, you will have to wait for it." So understanding delay is one more important habit in systems thinking, which we haven't touched upon because it's not a system thinking class. But if you go to the website, you will get some fantastic stuff.
So I have shared the 2 links. One is Water Center for Systems Thinking, and the other is they teach, they have a self-guided program for the habits as well. Now, we have covered some of this in a limited fashion because obviously this course is about biomimicry, and biomimicry is closely linked to a systems view of the world, which is why we have introduced it. But you could learn it from, systems thinking is not just restricted to its use in biomimicry. It can be used in other fields as well. So, which is why we've shared that link, and you can go ahead and learn more about it if you like.
Also, there are some new people here, Ayush, Agala, Yogeshwari, and Rao. You have any questions on biomimicry, or you just came to say hi? Ayush?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Good morning. So, this is my first class that I'm taking, first live session. I have I listened to the recorded lectures that are on the Swayam portal, and yeah, this is my first session basically.
Okay. Any questions you have, Ayush, based on what you've learned so far? Any questions or clarifications, or even otherwise any comments that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I want to know the one of the book that you recommended, one of the book recommendations. I think the title was Biomimicry, right? So so I was reading from that book. I'm taking that as a refresher, right? So I'm reading whenever I get the chance in between watching all the lectures. So I was thinking about, okay, where can I get the problem sets, or like, should I go on my own to search a problem and then develop a case study around it, or where? So basically, where can I get the problem sets?
Problem sets for what you want to solve, or you want to look at what others have solved?
Yeah, I looked at what others have solved, like your alumni have made some.
Correct. Yeah, so you want to look for a problem that you want to solve, correct?
Yeah, right.
So I'm not sure, have you completed week 2 right now, Ayush?
I am on week 2 actually.
Yeah, so in week 2 we have introduced something called the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Framework. Have you looked at that yet?
I'll look it up right now.
So Ayush, if you don't already have a problem to solve, and this is something we encourage our students, is you can use the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Framework in order to identify a problem that you want to address. And the reason for that is these are important problems for the world, right? These have been arrived at after a lot of thought, and these are problems that all the countries of the world need to get solved. There are 17 goals, and each of these goals have several targets under them and indicators under them. So if you look at the video, you'll get a better idea of what the framework is. And what you can do is you can pick up one of the goals that is close to your heart. So let's say education or health or anything else that appeals to you. You can actually pick up that, learn more about it, and say that, okay, this is the problem that I would like to solve under that. And again, I'm going to tell you to look at it in a little bit detail, because instead of just saying that I want to solve the problem of education, because that doesn't make any sense, right? You will have to learn more and find out which is the problem that you want to solve in education. So use the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Framework as a guide to locate a problem that you can solve. Okay. The other, what else what are you doing, Ayush? Are you a student?
Yeah, I am a student. I'm pursuing Bachelor's of Science from Indira Gandhi National Open University.
Okay. So the other thing that you can also do, Ayush, to look for problems is there is something called the 14 Engineering Grand Challenges. And again, the name sounds like it's only for engineers, but it's not. So there are 14 grand challenges that you can look at in terms of, again, important problems for the world to be solved. So you could look at those, and you can locate a problem that you are interested in solving as well. So I guess, there's no dearth of problems to solve. It's about what you would like to solve. And as we mentioned in the classes, it will be useful if you locate a problem, or you identify a problem, or you hone in on a problem that is important for you, because then your dedication to that will be much higher than if I tell you, hey, Ayush, why don't you solve this problem?
Okay, okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am. Next time
Yeah,
I
I've
will
also shared the
isolate
link
my
for
problem
engineering
and get
challenges. Go ahead
okay.
and look at that as well. And UNSDG, of course, is mentioned in the week 2 session itself. So you can take a look at that as well.
Okay, thanks a lot, ma'am.
Pavitra.
Pavitra had a question, is it?
No. I'm asking Pavitra. You came in first time today. You want to speak?
I think a couple of others were there, but they just left. I'm not sure why.
So, Bridge, what you do now, once you, week 7 is going on, right, Mini?
No. Right now, I think the only week 6 has been posted right now.
Yeah. So look at week 6 and week 7, and then what you can do is you can, whatever creativity stuff I have taught over there, let's discuss it in the next live session.
Fantastic, sir. Okay, very nice. Fine.
Because it's nice that you're interested in creativity, but the important thing is to, and the other thing I would suggest to all of you is, I don't know whether I've already said it to you, but just call up your school that you studied in or your children are studying in, and just go and start teaching biomimicry and creativity. Just go ahead and teach it. Take some slides with you. What will happen is your confidence in your own ability to think will increase. My strength is, supposing I have a problem, I will need somebody to talk to. So I'll probably call Manali and talk to her without even knowing. When I talk, I start getting ideas and solutions. Similarly, when you teach, you start deepening your own knowledge because there are a lot of questions that come to your mind. Before we go, I just want to share something else with you, which I probably have not shared in the biomimicry class. And it could be very useful to you. We don't have the caddisfly video. We can't share it because it's public space. It's a YouTube video, right? So
yes.
One of the things that I would suggest that all the 4 of you do is, there is a I did a program with the National Geographic called Questioning Skills, just to ask questions. It was a very boring program from the way they conducted the program, but very useful from what I learned. So what I learned was, when you see something, right? When you see something, for instance, if you see a video, you don't try, most of the time when you see a video, for instance, even a movie, like even a small 3-minute video of anything at all that comes to you on WhatsApp, if you can train yourself to move away from looking at the information that's being presented, right? If you can train yourself to move away from that information, but to ask questions, just ask 4 questions from that video. For instance, if it's a video of a transistor radio or something like that, you can say, so that use those 5 interrogation friends, right? What, why, how, what, why, how, when, and where. So you can ask questions like, when was this video shot? Daytime or nighttime? What was the technique they used? So learn to ask questions with anything that you see, anything that you see. Even if you see one house, when you're driving by and you see a beautiful house, you ask yourself, how much would it have cost? What would have been the length of time that it took the house to be built? So instead of soaking in information, if you can ask questions about anything that you see, and also tell yourself that your questions need not have answers, right? It's not a rule at all that our questions must have answers. You can simply train your mind to ask a lot of questions. Your curiosity will increase, and your thirst for knowledge will start to increase. I just thought I'll share it with you because this is what I told my students last week. I showed them a video and they all thought I'll ask them questions on the video itself. They were very surprised when I told them I want questions on the video. And I have promised to give them an exam with only questions, no answers. So the power of the questions will give them good marks. I just thought I'll share it with you.
Very nice, very profound learning, sir. Very nice.
Maybe next time we can pick up something and actually ask questions. For instance, what are the questions you have about me? Give me 3 questions.
How you have got so, maybe because of your lawyer background, nice way of putting things in way that could be one. How you learned that?
No answers, only questions. One more question.
How you're so energetic?
Okay. Now questions for Mrinalini. Enough of me now. Yeah.
From where you got this beautiful two paintings behind you?
Good, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's what we're learning. See what happens is when you start asking questions, the communication starts to increase. You build a relationship, and it's a beautiful way of what should I say? It's a beautiful way of learning curiosity. And by the way, maybe next class, I can also tell you something about listening skills, how to listen, right? That's a very powerful skill I teach. So, all right. So I think we are on time. We are.
Sir, one last question, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask that earlier I was in a habit of looking at a problem and then directly jumping to the idea. But now, sir, I am trying to break it, getting into the process. But sooner or later, sir, in the process, I realized that my idea is not new, because sir, in the world there is so many population that the probability of my idea to be new is less than 1% even. Therefore, sir, I think why to do earlier also someone has done the similar solution to it, because getting a new idea is next to impossible.
Satya, what is your question, yaar?
So sir, how to get new ideas? I think getting a new idea is next to impossible. How can we get new ideas? Because in the world of 7 billion population, new ideas, I think, not possible.
So, Satyam, see, I am not sure creativity means getting new ideas, because it's not possible. I think, from my point of view, there is nothing called a new idea at all. Right? Some idea surely has been, just because you don't have information that this idea has not been thought of before, doesn't mean it's a new idea. Originality is a very hyped sort of concept. Tell me, is it possible for every one of us to be original every minute? Business models of organizations are all copied one by after the other. What I would suggest you do is, we forget that in creativity, there's a very important aspect of creativity called improving something, right? Improving something. You can improve anything you want. If you understand that creativity is also about improving something, I'm telling you, Satyam, what's your age? 21, 22?
Sir, 20.
20.
20.
Yeah. Till the time you're 80, if you decide to improve something every day, you'll never feel bored in your life. Never. For instance, tell me how you can, do you have a pen in your house? Pen?
Yes, sir.
So give me one suggestion for improving the pen. We don't have to implement it now. I'm just looking at ideas.
Sir, making it more comfortable.
That's it. So you made a new idea? So
sir, but many others are working also on it.
Satyam, therefore I'm trying to help you understand the meaning of creativity. The concept of creativity is not about generating brand new ideas. The concept of creativity is also about improving something. It's the same.
And also, Satyam, I think and this is something that we will cover in week 7 and 8 as well, that there is too much of stock held by saying that creativity is about a lot of new ideas. We need fresh ideas. It's not just about the ideas. It's also because many of the great ideas fail because they are not taken forward properly. They are not implemented or executed properly. And I think that's what you should, as a person who's aspiring to do something different, actually think about.
Yeah.
Because two ideas could be there. One idea, according to you, may not be that great, but the other idea may be very great new idea. But if the first idea is actually prototyped, tested, and implemented properly, it will have far more success than the great idea that you thought. Because ideas are not worth anything, right? It is the execution that matters. Look at what around you, whatever happens, whether it is in the startup ecosystem or in research or anywhere else. It is about taking that idea forward and actually executing and implementing it, rather than just saying, wow, what a great idea, because it's something that no one else thought of. Because even if it's something that no one else thought of and it is so great that everybody says, wow, wow, if it is not tested properly, if it is not implemented properly and understood properly, it's actually not worth anything at all, right? And that's what Shiva is trying to impress on you.
See, what is that? I want to give an exercise to Satyam, especially because he's a medical student, in the light of what we are just discussing. What is that company that came back with the wound dressing looking at nature?
Chocolate.
Sharklet, is it?
Yeah.
So, Satyam, there is this company called Sharklet.
And I just typed in here.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Sharklet. What I would like, since you're a medical student, go to Sharklet Technologies, find out what they have done using biomimicry. They have created a dressing for wounds that don't get infected. Yeah, which is very powerful in the medical industry. It's probably going to become $1 billion industry very soon. Try to find out if you can read completely about Sharklet and improve on their design. Because you're a medical student, use your knowledge of medicine. Sharklet now has said that we want to imitate the sharks and come back with the dressing for wounds. And they're just starting out the world. I'm sure they'll become a very famous company. You can become more famous by them by looking at their product and try to find out if there is something that you can improve in their present design. And maybe file an IP. So I'm only saying start training your mind to improve things rather than look for fresh new ideas.
Yes, sir. Focusing more on improving rather than generating new ideas.
Then you will get less frustrated and more energized because somebody's already given you something to work on.
Sir, I would like to add a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I make music, right? So I make professional music. So most of the times what happens is I run out of, things to write, things to play. So that example that you gave, that, someone's mother going through the cupboard to see what is there, what they have in their arsenal to, take those things and, take inspiration from other things and, accumulate them in one place and building new out of the, the axioms that were present pehle se, right? Adding on top of the things that have been done before. And, sometimes that helps me a lot. Right? That exactly the process that you were talking about. So that culminates creativity. So
correct.
That, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think we're beyond time. Thanks, Ayush. Thanks, Bridge, Pavitra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bridge, look
Thanks
forward
for
to seeing you, seeing all of you next Saturday, Satyam and everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Sure,
Yeah.
sir.
And apologies for the late start today because of, it was due to some technical issue with the links. So hopefully we will not have this going forward. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Bye-bye, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye.